In this short video, I'd like to just kind of walk you through a set of instructional materials. This one happens to be on cyanide fishing. I didn't think many people know too much about that, and so we could kind of show some good and some other potential areas where this instruction could be improved. But most importantly, just so that you can kind of get an idea of what this instruction is like, and then we can use that for an example to show you some of the different things that you can learn from it. All right. So here's the opening page of this instructional material, set of instructional materials, and it's all computer based, of course, and it allows you to work through it on your own. So if you didn't know anything about cyanide fishing, perhaps you could come here and learn something about that. All right, so it says down here at the bottom, click anywhere to continue after you've read this, and so we'll do that, and we'll see where it'll take us then. Okay, so then it has an opening part of it that helps you to figure out how to get through all of this. All of these little signs down there are going to be the links that you have and other things to go back to various places. This tells you what that's all about. You know, if you want to skip some time to the quiz, and you would click on that thing and it'll do those type of things. So here's basically just an explanation page of how the program is going to work. Okay. So then we go from there and we start into the program itself and say, why do coral reefs actually matter? And there's a number of questions that go on here, and you can see in the background there's fish, if you can tell what those are, a school of fish that are swimming around. All right, but coral reefs are important, and these are some of the reasons why and all of that type of stuff. All right, so when we get done reading that, then you can go to the next page. And then why should we study this issue in chemistry class? Well, obviously this is a class that is set for high school chemistry students, and they're going to then take a look and understand or get a better understand of coral reefs and the interaction and something along the lines of use of cyanide and its impact on coral reefs. Okay, so in all of this, it starts to explain, you know, what those different lessons that can be learned and what kind of questions you would ask and that type of thing. Then you go to this next section, and this is actually kind of a menu of where you can do it. And the user, such as myself, can go to any one. So if we want to go to Los Angeles first, we can click on there. If we want to go to Townsville, Australia to see about the science of cyanide, we would go there. And Nagalo Island in the Philippines, you just go there. So let's go there because that's where the cyanide fishing happens. And here's the big picture. What is cyanide fishing? It tells you all about what that is, what this fisherman is actually doing as he's collecting these fish in the water. And one of the things that he does is he's going to spray the cyanide into the water there, and it stuns the fish so that they just kind of hang there in the air, and he can go through and just pick them up and stick them into the little bag that he's got, and it doesn't kill them. And then he can go and he can take those and sell them. All right. The only problem there is then it goes on and it shows what a good reef looks like and then what a poor reef looks like, and what goes on there and what happens when you kill off the reef. And one of the things that happens there is that, you know, coral does not like cyanide, and even though they're not directly, you know, pointing the cyanide at that, it's in the water and it happens to kill the reefs, and that's one of the problems that they have. All right, so you can do that, and you can go on and take the quiz at this point, or you can go to the next section and say, let's go to the next thing, and you can kind of get an idea here. And in this section here, it talks about the chemistry of cyanide and the chemist of the research center and those type of things. And so again, a page of explanation. Go to the next one, and it talks about certain things like, do you remember, and the science behind the problem and some of those type of things, trying to get them to pull their back memories of things that they've probably studied in class already and some of those things, and then some new knowledge that goes there. Go to the next thing, and they start doing problems, okay? Talking about double displacement and decomposition reactions and some of those things, okay? Do you remember what happens when, you know, silver nitrate reacts with hydrochloric acid? And if you don't, then you kind of click on the next thing, and it actually fills in the blanks for you. All right, so here is some revealing of information, and also allows the students to practice and do different things so that you can work on that. All right, and that helps to figure that out. So you go through those kind of things to the chemistry of cyanide, and then it's going to eventually get to the point where you're going to need to, you know, finish it up, go through all of these type of bits of information, and then you can go to take the quiz, or you can go back to the final section. I think that final section here is on why is there even a need for cyanide fishing, and one of those things is because so many people like to have aquariums and that type of stuff and need live fish for it, and so it encourages that to go on. And so they look at that and, what can we do to help? And some of those type of things that can be there. So it gives you the whole picture in this quick little lesson that you can go through to learn about the chemistry behind it and the rationale behind not doing it and some of those kind of things. Then you can go in to take the quiz section. And welcome to the quiz. You can begin that, and it starts to ask you, certain questions. Cyanide is used to catch fish, used for, that, or that. And it's probably this one down here because I've already read ahead and I know the answer to that. Okay, so anyway, and then you can go on to the next question and continue to finish those until you're all done with that. All right, so that's kind of the overview of this set of instructional materials, and we'll use this as an example in a number of cases. You can also access this also. I will put this up on Blackboard so that you can look at it and go through it and kind of get a feel for it. Again, you don't need to worry about the content of cyanide fishing, but you do need to start to think about how this thing was put together and why it was put together in the way that it is, and all the things that perhaps it illustrates for us, both good and not so good within the idea of developing instructional materials. Okay, thanks, and that is it.